Good evening. Whoa. I'm telling you, I'll be losing track of time. What's up, everybody? My name is Javon Stokes, and this is a Stoked podcast. I am, aka the most opinionated man in comics. I am here again on another Thursday evening to have great conversation with another creative, incredibly talented, creative individual. I'm glad that you guys can join me. We are waiting for our guest, and sometimes that takes a little bit, but it's all good. It's all good. I've got some things to run through with as well. Um, this Saturday, he's in the back. He's in the back. But let me go through this real quick. This Saturday, I'll be at a Heroes Legacy comic book store in Manchester, Connecticut, doing a book selling and signing. We are celebrating the life of the store, and as they're closing, I just wanted to go back to the place where I started, where I did my very first signing, and kind of rechristen it or give it a great send-off. I'm hoping you guys can show up if you're in the building or if you're in the area. What's up, Savion? How you doing? Got class tomorrow. All the students, all the students that are going back to school, good luck. Have a great year. We pray for y'all. We love y'all. And then next week, we're not on next week, unfortunately. Next week I will be on my way to Baltimore for Baltimore Comic-Con. I'm looking forward to it. Hold on, buddy. You gotta go. Later, okay? Later, buddy. Later. I'm in the middle of doing the intro. Stop. Your Minecraft Steve? All right. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'll be at Baltimore Comic-Con. Let me get my guest on before my son asks me 15,000 more questions. This gentleman is a drama and fantasy writer. He's also the founder of Icarus Studios. He's got a passion for adventure and a love of action, and he's transformed it and created Icarus Metro, as well as the upcoming, oh man, did I forget the name of it? Just that quick. The upcoming Oni Hunter. So please give a Stoke Podcast round of applause to the one and only Calvin Chambers III.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today?
What's going on, man? Oh, you got the slow internet tonight?
Just a little bit. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It just looked like you look like a comic book with panels. Like man. You talk and then you just see your expression.
Oh wow.
Oh no, you're good now. You're good. All right.
Good now?
Yeah,
okay.
You got caught up. I get caught up. Yeah, how you doing, brother? How's it going?
Doing pretty good. I kind of look like J. Cole right now.
A little bit of J. Cole. A little bit of J. bit of Scooter from Living Single.
Yeah.
Or Black Lightning.
Hey, you know what's funny? I get that a lot. A lot of people call me that. A lot of people
I can see it.
I
can absolutely see it. I can absolutely. All right. What's going on, Phil? Yeah, Oni Hunter does sound awesome. We're going to get to it, though. But welcome to a Stoke podcast, sir. Welcome. I'm clapping a lot. I don't know why. I should stop because I actually slammed my hand in the car door today. My fingers. They're good, though. No breaks. I'm all right.
Craziest accident. I got a scar on my arm. I got my hand stuck in a conveyor belt when I was a kid at an airport. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's yeah. I mean, I understand how it feels. It hurts, But yeah.
Now, before this, the scariest thing that happened was my drawing hand. I was playing basketball and I was diving for the ball, and my hand hit somebody's knee. Like my fist went like this, and all I heard was, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And so my hand started swelling up, and all the guys around me are like, "Hey man, you good? You good? Get back in. Get back in."
You're like, no. This
well, my boy was there. My boy was there. Who's a physical therapist. He looked at my hand. And he was like, "If you don't get your behind to a hospital," and even then, I didn't even do that. I went home, got some ice, and put it on it. And my mother's like, "How much longer are we gonna wait for your hand to swell up?"
Mm-hmm.
So, but you can actually still see. You can see the bump where the break was.
It's crazy. I still got something like that right here on my arm too.
Oof.
On my hand too.
Jeez.
It's a lot puffier than the other, but
Wow.
one thing that affects is the gaming.
Hey, I don't game. I haven't gamed in years.
Really?
I when my son was born, I think my wife bought me a PlayStation 3. What is that? 3 over there? What is it on right now?
5.
So it must be a PlayStation 4.
Okay.
So she bought a PlayStation 4 for me for Christmas. And I think I played it for a little bit, but it was around the time I had started doing comics. And so every time I pick it up, I'm like, man, I got a page to finish and I had to put it down. And so and then my son was born. And so I tried to like play holding my son in my arms.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to put this down for now. And I haven't picked it up. I haven't picked up a controller to play. And he's 4, he'll be 5 this year. So,
yeah. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. So what's good, man? How's the comic book life treating you?
Not much, man. Life is good. I know last time we spoke was Boston Comics and Color Festival, and I want to say April.
Wow, was it really April? God,
I think it was April. It was either April or March. It might have been March.
I don't remember.
Might have been March.
I can probably find out.
But it was a very long time ago. Things been good so far. We released Ani Hunter. We had a couple of conventions, BlurCon, DreamCon. Ani Hunter, we did like a little pre-release before the Kickstarter. We kind of feel out if we should do a Kickstarter or not, if we should continue the series, what people like. That's something I'm probably going to be doing from now on. Just trying to get a feel for people, what people like, what people don't like. I do feel like on our end, social media is so abstract and such a warm hole of just space that you won't necessarily know what people like and don't like. It's good for exposure because you can get lucky and get a viral video, but when you're there, we're around people who actually enjoy that type of content. Books, manga, comics, etc. You kind of get more of a feel of the route you should go. So we have Ani Hunter on Kickstarter right now, and it has 12 days left for the Kickstarter.
All right, we'll get to it. You jumping the gun. That's all right. I was gonna let you go, but that's all right. Hey, listen, we get passionate about our projects. Where are you located? Where are you based out of?
I'm in New Jersey.
Okay, you're in New Jersey. All right. Well, do you have any cons coming up?
No, we're done for this year.
Oh, you're done. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're done for this year. We were going to do a couple of cons in November, October. We decided it's just we need a couple months to prep for next year.
I hear you.
Some more books. We want to have some like issues 2s and issue 4s and stuff for next year.
I got you. I probably need to do that myself. But I've got quite a few coming up.
You see, you had Baltimore.
Baltimore, Granite State is literally the week after, and then 2 weeks after that, I'm at Mice.
Mice.
Yeah.
Never heard of none of these things.
It's like in Massachusetts. What is it? I can't remember the name of it. It's like independent. I gotta find Massachusetts Independent Comics Expo. So it's all independent creators. It's all
really?
Yeah, it's in Boston. I'm looking forward to it. I heard it's really good.
Okay, I didn't know that something like that exists. Wow.
I was just having a conversation with somebody this past weekend, and they were like, "Man, how do you know where all these cons are?" I'm like, "Man, I just come across them. So I'll be at a con, somebody tell me about a con, so I make a note of it." And I was like, so my list of cons that are just East Coast is like absurd. I might post it one day, but I feel like if I post it, y'all gonna take all the spots. Now I'm gonna be real mad next year when I can't get in none of them. But let me talk with Jesus on that one.
Hey, I do agree with you. Learning about other cons through talking to people at conventions. Um, some of the cons that we next year want to do like a lot of cons that are different than the ones we've done in the past. I do feel like when you do a con over and over and over again, eventually it's going to be a lot of the same people that's coming by. So we kind of want to diversify it up. Savion on here just mentioned, doing the Rhode Island Comic Con. That was one of my first Comic Cons I've ever been to, not as a vendor, but just as a guest, in 2016. And that con was just, it was a madhouse of people who love comics and anime and pop culture. It was probably one of the best conventions I've ever been. And that's something that we want to go to next year, as a vendor.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get into. Hold on one second.
It is. It
Give
is.
me one.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry about that. We got a barking dog here. Yeah, Rhode Island was great. I did it. I want to say it was no, it wasn't right before COVID. It was after COVID. So it was like maybe 2-3 years ago I did it. And it was I enjoyed I actually did really well at that con.
Mhm.
But that one was really fun. Somebody asked me my favorite cons to do. Terrific Con is definitely one of my favorite. Baltimore, I love doing last year so much. I'm doing this year. Heroes Con was great.
Okay.
Um, right now, those are like my top three. Oh no, Dragon Con, definitely Dragon Con. That's like top five. And then I don't know what number four. Fan Expo Boston has been good to me too.
Okay.
Uh, it's been good to me too. But there are a lot of cons. I'm trying to actually go west and south,
Mm.
next year. But we'll get to that. Usually, when I start with these interviews, I start with the same question because everyone's is different. So I'm going to ask you: when did your love of comics begin?
Uh, I would say my love of comic stories began, watching all the animated series, Justice League, Static Shock, Batman Beyond, X-Men, the animated series, and watching those introduced me to the comics. Um, but I didn't initially like start reading comics before I read, like the actual comic graphic novels. I started off on manga. I started off watching anime. Um, and then when I found out that, there was like this vast, endless cycle of comics, I remember the first book I got from Marvel was like, it was this thick X-Men book,
Okay.
back when they were writing like a lot of like not graphic novels, novel stories, like just one shot stories. Um, I know I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and they used to have a lot for Star Wars at the library. But I remember I went to Barnes and Nobles or some type of flea market, and they had this thick. It was like a silver and it was like a silver cover with like a lot of red on it, but it was X-Men. And I read that book, and I just started like just fall in love with like Wolverine, Magneto, Nightcrawler, and then eventually, uh, the MCU came around. Dark Knight came around, and I was just in love with like the whole media. But then I didn't go to my first Comic Con until 2016 after I graduated college. And with this, I saw people making comics, and I didn't think that you could make comics without being at Marvel and DC. This is actually where I got my first set of comic books, like the actual
Okay.
comic books. And me with actual like getting comic books, um, I love getting books that I appreciate the art for, right? In terms of the cover from like
Right.
Marvel and DC, and I also love collecting first appearances. I have a lot of first appearances, you know, and a lot of them are signed. I have like the first appearance, Scott Lang, signed by Stan Lee.
Oh, really?
Some signatures from Kevin Eastman on some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got like I have literally the third book of Blue Beetle, like ever, like the original Charleston Blue Beetle. Um, like I have a lot of first editions, Mockingbird, uh, Caitlin Snow, Killer Frost, Firestorm. Uh,
So you
it's
just
a
like
lot.
you
It's a
just
lot.
search these out? You were
No, no,
this
no,
is
no, no. And I'm not even searching. I just go to cons, and then when I go to cons and I see something I like, and usually they say like, "Oh, this is first edition, this, that," and they mark it up a little bit. I'm like, okay, let me get that, you know. And then and then I just get it graded, and I just have it here at my place.
man, I wish. Honestly, I don't know if I was ever like that. I've never been a got to get this first appearance for, you know what I mean? But like, I wanted to be like that. But once I started doing cons for like with my books,
Hmm.
like I had to make a rule like you can't buy anything at a con because you're marked. Because the way I always look at it is my budget. Well, how much I made is X. If I if I have to repay the table and repay the hotel or whatever expenses, then whatever's left over is the profit. But if I go buying stuff around cons, I'm eating into my profit, even if it's not eaten directly from that money.
That's
I'm yeah.
that's
So
true. I get that. I get that.
like I would, and I've told this story before. Whenever I go to cons and I see other creators, and they're always like, like they kind of had to look at me like you're not going to support my book. I'm always like, listen, I will get on your Kickstarter. I have you on my show, but I cannot buy your book right now. I'll buy it later when my full-time job check kick in.
Yeah, yeah,
But I get you later. But but I wish I could just go because like sometimes you sit next to those vendors and they have like the books up and they have like, buy 5 books for the price of one or
yeah.
some craziness. And I just be sitting there like salivating, like I just want to go through them so badly. I just want to go through, but man, I ain't got no room in this house, and all my books are in the basement.
I understand. I understand. I got a lot of my books stored up and put in boxes right now. So on Amazon, they have like those comic boxes, and they just all lined up. Even the ones that I haven't gotten graded yet, because I'm waiting for a convention I go to. I can see like there's certain things I'll spend on. Right, I won't go to the conventions, and I won't just try to get everything I like because I end up buying the whole place and putting it on my credit card, and then realizing, wow, I can't pay my bills because my credit card's full. Um, so me personally, uh, I respect that, and I might actually start implementing that next year.
It was hard
I might
to
actually
do.
start implementing that.
It was really hard to do, and I had to learn it real quick because I think the first con I ever did, I was like walk around and I would be like, oh man, that looks really cool. I want to support that guy.
Mhm.
And so I started buying books and it was like $50 in. And I was like, I just bought like
Hmm.
$50 worth of books. Okay. And then, but I did well at that con, but I ate into the profit. So after now I'm just like, I'll walk around, I'll like support however I can. I'll take people, usually, like you, I'll be like, hey, what's up? Get your information. We could, come on the show or let me know when you do a Kickstarter. And I try not to like, because I don't want people to feel like offended.
Yeah, I
You
get
know
that.
what I mean? Because, I don't, I know there are a lot of people in this world who always talk about wanting to support, Black creators, but they don't. They'll walk right by you, or they'll come by and talk to you for 2 seconds, and then and then be like, "Oh, thank you," and then walk the hell away. Um, you know, I love y'all too, but
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that comes with the territory, right?
yeah. What were your favorite books? Like, what were when you did get into reading comics? What were your favorite books to read?
I enjoyed for. I'm not in no way am I just this because like this is like the most recent stuff that just came out. I enjoy reading Blue Beetle.
Okay.
I like Blue Beetle and Bruce the Gold. Um,
Me too.
yeah. So a lot of people get mixed feelings, but I enjoy Blue Beetle and Bruce the Gold. I enjoy Nightwing. Been reading Nightwing.
See, this is why I knew. This is why I liked you. This is why we got along because we got similar tastes.
Well, it's crazy. I was actually on the episode of it was the episode of Comic Book Men. I was one of the buyers of I forgot the name of the Teen Titans book. I have it graded.
Is
It,
it 28? I think
it
it's number 28. The first Nightwing.
yes, yeah. So I bought it off them on the
Wow.
show. So I got the whole picture, and it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, I might have to look that up. I'm gonna find a clip for it.
Yeah, so that one right there. I like the new Teen Titans. I love Marvel team up with Spider Man. It was that issue, that run with Spider Man. The 1989 run of Flash.
Oh, with Wally West.
Yeah,
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 yeah. I got that collection up there.
yeah. Great question. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
So I don't get individual issues as much anymore now. I'm a trades guy.
Okay.
Like I get collections because I don't have room. I have like bookcases now, so I can just put the bookcases in. Plus, I don't want to. I like to read the
Hmm.
comics, so like you said, going for the ones that worth something
Hmm.
is great. But once you grade it, you can't open it no more. You can't read it.
Yeah.
So that's why. So I'll buy the books. Like I have the entire Nightwing run from
Yeah. Then.
uh from Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
That whole Nightwing run from his first series, I have it in individual form,
Hmm.
but it's like I believe they're in plastic bags and they're in big tub in my basement. But I love it the run, so I had to go buy the trades of the collected edition. So I bought the damn things twice.
Okay. Okay. Um, One other thing that I got, I think I read the new 52 Batman.
Oh, it's good stuff.
I traded that though. I traded that for the new. I think the Constantine one, and then I traded that one too for some first appearances. Um,
How big is your collection?
uh, not that big. I would say about like maybe like one big tub full. Like if we're looking at like a Walmart tub,
Yeah,
yeah, like just one tub.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that beat.
What?
I got like I got like four of them bad boys downstairs. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I got good because so before I want to say I think I probably dropped off buying floppies right around the time I got married,
Mhm.
which was about 8 years ago. Um, that's when I kind of transitioned to trades. I was a big like if I liked the run of a character, I would buy. I'm buying the whole like
Yeah.
issue after issue after issue. So like after a while, that that builds up. Like I had the entire Kurt Busiek, George Perez run of Avengers.
Mm.
Uh, Jesus, what else did I have? The whole Grant Morrison Justice League run. I have in individual issue form. Uh, Jesus. I have a lot. I have a lot of books. I have a lot of books. I probably should just grade them and put them the hell away, but that would it would probably cost me more money to grade them.
But my thing is, I want to come across the graders at conventions because I don't trust sending my stuff in the mail.
Yeah,
Not,
that's the
not
only way I do it.
yeah, not the good books. Like I remember, it got very costly over the pandemic because I was very bored and I just wanted something to spend the little stimmies on. But so I got like that's when I started Nightwing. Right, I went on this
Okay.
book website that I was getting my like good copies from. which I honestly forgot. I would say it on stream, but I forgot what the website was because I haven't gone on it in a long time. But I got like the first 16 books of Nightwing for the current run, and
You mean the New 52 run?
not the new 52. It's the might be Rebirth.
Is that with who's the writer on it?
Let me check.
But we're dead here. That's right. What was Did you have any favorite creators, or were you like I just like specific characters?
It was like specific characters that I can like get attached to and stuff. I didn't like going into it. I didn't really know about the different creators, and I'm actually like even now like still just learning. Okay, who's who? In terms of like being a creator, learning about these different creators, um, because it's not like I started more so in my adult life. So it's like with sports. Me personally, I enjoy baseball, I enjoy basketball, I enjoy football, but do I know players outside of my own personal team? No, not really. You know, but if I keep hearing the name often enough, then I'll start remembering those names.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm a sports guy, so I I'm not like some dudes. Like I know I have friends who, they can kind of like go off the head with like stats and stuff. That I can't do, but
Yeah,
names, like names and stuff, I'm pretty close. But that's why we got phones because you could just scroll through it and be like, oh yeah, this dude had a double double. So as you are getting more into comics, which creators are you finding that you're beginning to like and follow?
um,
Can
I'm
you
looking
name Can you name any off the top of your head?
off the top of my head. I'm just looking on my phone to just scroll through. I like Scott Snyder's work.
Okay,
Um, I like. I am drawing a blank a little bit.
that's all right.
Mm, Let's see. I'm looking at Rebirth right
That's
now.
all right. So how did you get from I'm collecting comics, I'm enjoying the MCU, I'm enjoying cartoons, I'm enjoying, comics as a fan. How did you get from that to, you know what? I want to make my own book. I want to be like a professional in this. Like what was that journey like?
So I've always been a writer, right? I started writing like poetry, music. I was writing like short stories and stuff, fan fiction as a kid. Fan fiction was mostly for like DC Comics. Um, and, like I said before, huge lover of anime, manga. So I just had all these different stories and ideas of like, okay, I'm watching this show. And it's not even just with comics or manga, it's just with like actual television. A character does a certain action. In my head, I'd be like, what if he did it this other way? What if they made the choice to do something else? You know. Um, so I always loved playing with the idea of that. And when I found out that regular people like me and you, before even getting the credentials of being a licensed professional in comics, etc., making our own stuff, I saw other people doing it, and I said, "Hey, now I guess I have the chance now to make my own stories." Um, so I wanted to make my own stories and create new narratives, new ideas, new paths for people to enjoy the characters that I create. And if, given the opportunity to create for another person's character, that would be a dream too. I'm, I'm writing so many ideas. Even before I started making my own characters, I was writing like sample scripts for like Blue Beetle, um, Wildcat. Uh, what's the other one? Um, Shadow from DC Comics.
Okay.
Um, you know, certain characters for the X-Men. So, I've always had the idea of like, okay, I do want to create my own stories, but I wouldn't mind writing for other people's stories too. So, I threw my hat in. I said, you know what? Let me start creating, and I wanted to just, see how it turns out.
Okay. Now, while you were kind of beginning this process, what type of learning did you do of like the craft of creating comics? Was it YouTube? Was it reading? Was it books? Is there any particular books? Like, what kind of like? Because there's a process to making comics. Like, how did you learn about the process? Like, where'd that come from?
So I started making comics. I wrote my first comic book in 2016, and it was a short 10-page comic book that I got created, and a lot of it for me before I actually started getting into it was just okay. What is how do you script write for comic books compared to a film? Um, this was me buying a lot of comic books, buying a lot of not only DC Marvel, but Image, Valiant, Dark Horse, all sorts of comic books from different places, reading different types of comic books, different from what I am familiar with. I read Roger Rabbit. I read, She. I read Tomb Raider. Just I read everything. Just to at least an issue one or an issue two, just to see how things were spaced out, and just so I can like look at a piece of paper and say, hey, okay, this is the instructions, this is the end product. Time for me to create something. Um, and then from there it was trial and error. And trust me, I made a lot of mistakes on my journey making comics. One of those mistakes is trying to find an artist uh, that can translate my ideas onto paper. Um, I made a lot of mistakes when it came to settling for less, even though my art, my work represents me as a person. I made a lot of mistakes where, uh, in terms of marketing, what conventions to go over the other, what works for my goal, my dream, for, you know, my stories, over trying to potentially follow in another person's footsteps. Um, but, here we are, trying to evolve, trying to learn from those mistakes and create a healthy pattern for ourselves and to put out good stories for the world. For me, it's not about fame, fortune. I've been watching too much One Piece. It's not about that. It's about creating stories that people love. Putting that smile on people's faces when they read the story. That wow factor, making people say, "Whoa, this is really good." Like that. That's enough motivation, drive for me to keep pushing even in the negatives.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now before we get into Icarus Metro, which is your first book, right? Is that
No,
your first book, or
it, it,
that's your
it,
most famous? Your most
it's my first under Icarus Metro Comics. Yes,
okay.
so it's
Before we get into that, did you have anybody that like I know, like for me, I've had people who I can go to and bounce ideas off and almost mentor me through this journey that we're doing. Did you have anybody that you could kind of go to and go, hey, can you look at the script, or you listen to this idea? How does it sound like? Did you have anybody like that?
No, I didn't have anybody like that. I'm starting to find people
Excuse me.
who I can, talk to about this journey and, bounce ideas off of and just network and potentially collaborate with. Um, finding a mentor, man, it's a dream. Never had a mentor before, but that would be a dream. But I do learn from observation. You know, especially success stories. That motivates me even further. I love watching documentaries about how people, start compared to where they finish, because what people don't understand is it's not always a pretty road based off what you may see on social media. For everybody, that road is rocky. So it's just up to um, it's up to see if you can stay on path or not.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I do. I'm with you. I like watching documentaries on comics
Okay.
and stuff
Okay.
like that. Like, and I know, I think it was Amazon had quite a few. They
Okay.
had like Todd McFarlane, they had Image, they had all these great documentaries that I always watch. To help me through. Some because like you said, it's comics are hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to make, net manage, market, everything. It's a niche market.
If you get a chance, can you send me some recommendations?
Oh yeah, sure. Hey, listen, man. Oh, you want a mentor? No, I'm just, I'm
Okay.
just messing. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you. No, I honestly, I can send you a lot. There's quite a few. They're all on Amazon, and I kind of stumbled across them. Like I don't even remember. I wasn't even looking, and like I just found them. They might. I don't know if they're still there, but they're really good. Because a lot of. I was just talking with somebody about this. Who was it? It was Larry Stroman. He was talking about how younger, like us younger creators,
Hmm.
don't have to kind of run the gauntlet like he did. Like when he was coming up, as an artist, he had to like basically do almost apprenticeships with established creators who would teach him how to do, how to pace a story, how to, do a cover, how to do X, Y, and Z before he could actually get in the industry. But now anybody can get in, you just slap something together and make a book. And I always find that, at least for me, I love it if somebody who's in the industry were to read my book and be like, "Hey, man, you should probably try da 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 da,"
Yeah.
especially if it's in a constructive manner. Like,
Yeah.
if you come up to me and be like, "Your book is trash," and I'm probably not gonna pay attention to you. I'll I'll just be like, "What's your book look like?"
So, so I did do that once. Um, for one of my original books before Icarus Metro Comics, before quarantine. This is a long time ago. My first book ever, right? Because I formed Icarus Metro Comics in 2020, and
Okay.
my first like title was a web comic that I made back in like 2017. But I had made like a little one shot, a little 10-page short story, and I went to a comic book expo, and I showed an artist who worked in the industry, and I think he might have been an artist or writer, and I could tell you exactly who it is, but I'm not gonna do that.
Oh
Uh,
man, I want to know. Go
yeah,
ahead. No, just
but I showed him the art, and he said that he looked at me and said, basically said, "Is this what you wanted?" Right? And I'm not gonna lie, the cover was horrible in my eyes. I knew it was, but basically I got duped on Fiverr.
mm,
They show the art, and then you don't really see what their real art style is until you flip like to the end of their reviews and you see their deliveries. So I got duped by that, right?
mm.
So I already paid, and he already delivered, and I was just like, you know, what's the chance this guy's gonna give my money back or whatever? Um, and because the inside interiors were good, perfect. You know what I mean? Um, and I said, it's not. I wish the cover was better. I wish parts are better. And he trying to get constructive criticism, and I respect him a lot for that. Um, but it basically gave me the understanding that like I said before, your art is a reflection of you. Whatever you want to put out there, what you can't put out there, make sure you do it to the best of your ability, because other people are watching, and people judge books by its cover, no matter how much you say not to. Um, and what's going to catch them is that first glance. If people want to read your book or not.
Yeah, I mean, one of my biggest issues that I have with a lot of indie books, I've two. One is a lot of guys don't know how to make a cover that can like stand out, like you know what I mean, and tell a story as well as stand out. Like a lot of guys clutter up the cover with a lot of things because they think that'll make it look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not saying names on anybody, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're out there watching this, please don't assume I'm talking about anybody I'm just as in general thing, just me walking around Comic Cons. And then interiors, like I need to be able to understand what's happening without words. Um, and a lot of people don't know understand like the flow, like how to have a flow of a story on a page through a whole book. Sometimes like I'm telling you, I've like tried to read a book. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what's happening. Even with the words, I'm like, dude, I got nothing. Um,
Yeah, and like you said, in the previous generations, a lot of people, they had a lot of apprenticeships and internships, and different steps they took before they were able to show that. Before they were able to create on that level. But now people are going in head first. It's almost like and I'm not comparing this to anybody or anything, um, because and it's crazy because personally, and I do want to go on air and say this, personally, I do support a lot of indie books, especially when it comes to Kickstarters, but most of them I don't read.
I
O-
mean, I'm
Only be,
with you.
only because I am a writer myself, and I create my own books myself. So the last thing I want is subliminally an idea from a book that I read into my work from somebody else's work. You know,
No, I get that.
I hope people respect that, but like that's the last thing I want. Um, but
I just don't have time. I'm just being honest. I tell people all the time, I got a stack of books
yeah,
sitting
yeah,
that I just haven't read. If I bought your book, I probably haven't read it. It's not me being an a-hole. It's
yeah.
I've got X amount of time in this world in during the day. And like today I flatted books and then I did some, you know, company work. It's really hard for me to sit down and
It,
read, you know.
it's a lot. It's a lot to manage. Like, so having your own business with it is a lot to manage. You know what I mean? Me personally, I wish like a few different companies got together and made a big conglomerate company with everybody having their own titles like Image Comics, and putting it out there. But you know, that itself is an endeavor. You got to be a huge business guy to want to even do something like that.
I have pitched that to creators.
Yeah.
I have pitched that. Um, I I think I got a little disenchanted with it because I think a lot of the creators, all of the independent people are very used to being their own boss. And to do something like that might inevitably mean you have to uh listen to somebody else. And I don't know if people are really down for that. So I just don't know if that I don't I think I think I've kind of reached a point where that's probably not going to happen.
Oh
Um,
no, that's probably not. No, that's
yeah.
probably
I mean, I was literally typing up like like a pitch, like a business proposal, while I was talking to other people, and it was kind of like, yeah, I mean, if y'all can figure it out, if there's everybody's answer was basically, if you can figure it out how to do it, as not so much like, let me help you figure out how to do it. It's more like, if you can figure out, and I like all the people involved, and that's a lot.
Gotta make you the big boss, right?
I mean, I wasn't trying to be a big boss. I was not trying to be a big boss. I'm my own boss right now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Icarus Metro. That's the name of your company, but it's also you have a title, a comic book title called Icarus Metro.
Yes.
Give us the elevator pitch for it.
All right, so Icarus Metro, basically a paranormal group of individuals try to fight to protect the metro area from the evil underground syndicate. Issue 1 follows the story of Simone Stone, paranormal spellcaster, and also celestial of druids. Then we have issue 2 follows Viscosity. He is a liquid metal user with the ability to manipulate liquid metal particles. And then issue 3 coming out soon. Well, I'll say by next year. Follows Catalyst, who appears in Icarus Metro 2, right here. And she has the power of Mystic Fire.
Okay. All right. So what if you could go ahead.
First, where you get these photos?
Hey man, I have my
got some unreleased stuff in this. I'm looking at this like, what? Like,
I find them where I find them, man. I find them where I find them, dude. I got to do my job. This is my job. Come on now, this is my job. If you could compare this to like a current existing project, like what is this like?
If I could compare this to a current project, I would say Icarus Metro is like a mixture of like Teen Titans mixed with like My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay, all right. That's a nice little mix there. Nice little mix. And you've been selling these for quite a while now. You got the T-shirts.
Yeah. We're selling
fam.
Yeah, we have Icarus Metro 2, Icarus 1 and 2 out. That came out 2021, and they both came out 2021, 1 and 2. So 2024, probably when 3 will come out. This right here is Ani Hunter. These are the clothing for Ani Hunter.
Oh, okay.
The Stonewall shirt I have on right now, actually, the shorts, and we actually have a beanie hat. But if you see right here in this right here, I got the Icarus Metro shirt on. So those are like the apparel we have right now, but we're looking to expand on that. My brother, who is managing all like the clothing designs and stuff, he's working on trying to get us some more clothing going. My sister is a co-writer. She is actually the creator of Simone Stone and one of the co-writers on Icarus Metro 1.
Hey man, that's beautiful, man. To keep it in the family, y'all working together, like that's lovely, man. I am officially jealous because that seems infinitely easier than going out and finding people. But you just bringing it, just working with your family, and everybody kind of has their role and working through stuff. And that's great, dude. That's great.
Yeah, they're great to have, especially like when it comes to like conventions and stuff. Trying to get things situated.
I think I met your brother, didn't I?
Yes, my brother.
Yeah. Your sister wasn't there though.
No, she wasn't.
Like your family, but your parents were, I think.
Parents were there too.
Hey, okay.
So, yep.
Hey, I saw y'all. Hey, listen, man, they was moving units at Boston. I saw them.
Yeah, they were. I went out and they were just boom, 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 boom. And I was like,
they was moving units. I was impressed.
Yeah,
I was impressed, man. I'm always, because I had never met you before then.
Yes.
Like I think we met through Facebook.
Yes, we had each other on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I knew you had a podcast. I didn't know you made comics.
Really?
I'll be honest. I knew you had a podcast, but I didn't
do a better job.
Huh?
So I gotta do a better job, man. I gotta do a better job.
Hey,
so if y'all don't know, I do make comics. Look at that one right there, and that one right there. If you didn't know, now you know. So how long? So you've been doing cons, like you personally have been tabling for how long? You said you started in 2020,
2017.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. I was under a different name back then, but I was in a partnership with some people, and that collapsed. But then I started doing my own journey, 2020.
Okay. Are you a aggressive salesman or are you a laid back salesman?
I'm not laid back. I sell comics like I would sell cars, man. But it's not aggressive in term point, but it's just making sure that people are aware. I'm not going to force somebody to buy a book that they may or may not be interested in. Because I wouldn't want that for myself. I want like a Barnes and Nobles or something, or I collect vinyl. If I went to a vinyl shop, um, I would want somebody to come up to me, introduce himself, say, "Hey, this is what we got. Give me the whole spiel," and then if you got any questions, let me know. You know, so that's how you should present it. And usually, people give me feedback or they follow on social media and say, "Hey, we'll get it later." That's cool for me.
I was just joking with somebody how the new generation, for them, when they're if they can't buy, clearly if they can't buy a book, they'll be like, "Hey, I'll share you on social media,"
Hmm.
and they're like so happy about it, and I'll be like, I mean, that's great, I appreciate it,
Hmm.
but I don't think I sometimes I don't even see the share, like they don't like attach me to it, like they might take a picture of it, but they won't like at me.
It's funny because I actually just saw a couple of people share one of my posts for my Kickstarter on my Instagram, and I just happened to see it by going through people's stories, and I didn't even know that they shared it. Because Instagram you can't see the shares, but
Yeah,
you can see it on Facebook, but you can't see it on the Instagram. 'Cause I went
yeah.
and I saw one of my posts got like 11 shares, and I saw a couple people shared it, and I was like, oh, okay, let's thank you. You know what I mean?
Oh
Um,
yeah. I've
but
had a couple times where like somebody's been like, I've seen this before. And
yeah,
I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, I've seen this on Instagram. And I'm like, how? In my mind, I'm like, how? I don't know who you are. So we aren't friends on Instagram. So, but then apparently somebody's sharing. So, but I don't know, like I never know when somebody shares something. They got to fix that on Instagram. Like,
yep.
it's crazy.
And I got that on TikTok too. I When I went to BlurCon this year, I remember I was doing a little skit thing with a cosplayer, and she said that she seen me on TikTok before, and I was like, "Oh, you see me on TikTok too?" She's like, "Yeah, you have comic books and stuff." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Yeah," I was like, didn't know my reach was there, but okay, yeah, yeah.
Hey, shout out to Danny Quick, because I can't tell you how many times somebody's come up to me and been like, I've seen this on TikTok. And they're like, are you on TikTok? And I'm like, sorta. But somebody, and I'm like, is it Danny Quick? And they're like, yeah, it's Danny J. Quick. And I'm like, yep, that's me. So shout out to Danny for
That's
that. But
funny.
he's really like been pushing to do TikTok with me, because I don't know how to use TikTok. I don't do the skits. I don't do any of that stuff.
So I know how to do TikTok to a point, um, but it comes back to your question about being an aggressive salesman versus being a laid back salesman. Um, I like when I make TikToks and like even reels about like my books and stuff. I feel like I'm doing too much. You know what I mean? You know, and I don't want to keep making the same types of things because I'm just gonna be like, oh, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. And then that gets annoying after a while. For like me to say. You know, and I don't know. I just gotta figure out a better way to do it. You know,
Yeah, I'm not a social media marketer. I'm trying. I'm
so
trying.
there's some
I'm
social
getting
media
better.
marketers out there. Look, contact me and we can pitch you on a trial run. Yeah. Look, yeah, I will.
Nah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm the same way. Well, even now, like even at cons, sometimes I feel because you're saying the same thing a lot, And so like sometimes I annoy myself and like I get tired of saying it, but like I have to remember that the person that I'm talking to probably has never heard this before.
Mhm.
But I'm also blessed that I'm seeing a lot more people who bought the book before who I
Mhm.
don't have to say it anymore. They're like, like I just did a con last weekend where somebody came up to me and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And normally I'm really good with faces, but this time I just didn't. He had a mask on and he was like, oh, we've got everything. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I got a new book coming out soon. It was like, he's like, just let us know. And I mean, it. Unfortunately, they don't buy anything more, but
Yeah.
it's nice to know that they have everything, meaning they want more, and they're just waiting for you to get to work.
See, that's what happened to me at DreamCon this year. There's a lot of people who saw us and was like, hey, glad you're back. Da, 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 da. What you got? And I was like, well, I only got one new book. And just to offset that, we started making clothing, so that, hey, I'll buy the book, get the clothing, etc., but just, like you said, it's almost like if you go to like new cons versus old cons, new cons is okay. But you go to conventions you've been to before, gotta come some new material.
No, I get
You
you. I
know?
get now. Who does your shirts?
Um, so so the first shirt, the one I was wearing in the photo, the Icarus Metro shirt, I did that myself. I
No,
have
I mean like who makes them? Like who? Like where do you get your shirts through?
so I go to a warehouse and get the actual blanks, and then I press them.
Really?
Yeah.
What warehouse?
It's
I'm
like a
just
warehouse.
curious.
It's like a warehouse in New Jersey. I can send you the link, and they'll ship it to you. They'll like ship the blanks to you and everything.
Really?
Yeah,
So they let you go in the warehouse and do it yourself?
yeah. It's really, yeah, yeah. It's like a sweatshop.
Man, I gotta find one of these, man, because I
Yeah,
would love to have
real warehouse.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
I would
So
love to have t-shirts, but usually it's like, I have to go through like what's the name of that website?
like
And
Sunday,
it's
like Teespring and stuff like that.
yeah, and it's like $10 a shirt or something like that.
Yeah, this one's definitely a little bit more, but
And I would rather, if I can get I honestly I want to buy my own press
mhm.
and do it myself. And then just kind of like make my own shirts and just be able to have them, which is what I'm trying to do for next year.
Okay.
Uh, like like you said, like to the people who bought everything and they're just kind of like waiting for you. I want to be able to be like, hey, I got t-shirts, I got hats, I got everything like that. But I'm trying to find somebody who can do it in bulk and where
Okay.
I'm paying like an arm and a leg.
So I do, well, not me, but my mom. She has like the Cricut machine and the press from Amazon. So I do it there. Embroidering, we have to go to this like local shop, and it does the embroidering for us for the shorts. But we're looking into that on Amazon too, like getting our own embroidery machine and stuff. So it's just little by little. And my brother does the tie dye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you might have to send me the link for the t-shirt uh for the thing you got on Amazon that you say
Okay.
the press. I know
Yeah.
some people have it and I'm never sure which one to get cuz I can get a bulk of t-shirts. Like they're easy to find. It's just, the pressing part of it. Like even if I just did something like, the Captain America shirt I'm wearing now where it's just the character's logo and it's not, you know what I mean? Like that's a simple thing that you can print out and just bring a box of them and then sell them bad boys for a nice little penny. Uh,
But do conventions allow you to do like fan made stuff?
Say what?
Like you said, Captain America. Like, do they allow you to do fan?
No, I'm saying like this type
Oh,
of
okay.
shirt where it's
Yeah,
just the logo.
yeah.
I would just do like my character's logo and both my characters' logos on it. That's what I'm really looking forward to do. But you know, oh, you move quick, man. You move quick. How much is it? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I can rock with that. Okay. All right. I can rock with that. If I can get that, man, listen. My stepdaughters need to make a couple dollars. I have my own little sweatshop in my house. This is an impressive.
Have them impressive, yeah.
Now you're here to talk about your Kickstarter.
Yes.
So let's give you a chance to kind of run with that. So tell us about Oni Hunter.
Okay, yeah. Ani Hunter #1, monster hunting origin story is about a basketball player who contracts this deadly illness. This illness is paranormal, just like the lore of Icarus Metro and all these other stories I'm creating. And as he contracts this illness, he finds out that he has to kill these shape shifting demons called Ani in order to take their life energy so that he can live. So the story is basically Kuroko no Basketball meets Blade meets Rurouni Kenshin meets Demon Slayer. Part basketball, part demon hunting, part world building. Everything in the story is street level. So basically, when a person comes in, into the story, they're not people who can fly. They're not people who can, destroy Earths. They're not people who can cause the ground to rupture. They're more so people who fight with, weapons and, use their street smarts, use their skills, use bow and arrows in order to take down these Ani and the people or beings that control them.
Okay. Is that an axe he has in his hand?
Yeah, so it's funny with him. He has different weapons. Being that he's, rich millionaire and such, in his first issue, he's carrying an axe, something that he created or got custom made himself with this jade amulet that he received in the story. So the next issue, he will have a different weapon.
So his name is Jacob William Bills.
Yes.
So he's Jacob Bill Bills.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
it's gonna be a lot of different playing on his name, because it's like whenever he takes a shot, he gets it in. It's like Bills, Bills, Bills.
There you go.
Like that's the money shot.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, who's the artist for this book?
A couple different artists. Yeah, Mark Jones Javier. He does the interior arts. The character art is done by Debuhe Y. Vess. They were formerly known as Osar Animation. And the cover for the Slam Dunk cover was done by Med Manga. And the Power Soul cover was done by Lewis Ho.
It's black and white?
Yes.
Okay. So you're a manga fan, apparently.
Yes. So
I can see the manga influence.
So a lot of the stories outside of Icarus Metro series will be probably going the manga route going forward, unless it's just a story that I want to portray as a comic.
Okay. All right. What made you? What draws you to using the manga form as opposed to like American art style?
Honestly, more so what I was raised on. What I first initially was attracted to in terms of like, I mean, this could definitely work with color, but I don't know. Just seeing that manga style is definitely attractive to me. I like the way it was created and designed. Mark Jones Javier, fantastic artist. The way he, was able to just capture this story is amazing. So, definitely want to set the tone for this types of comics going forward. Because all manga is in Japanese is comic.
I know. I keep trying to let people know that, man. I be having all kinds of arguments with people about manga is beating comics And I'm just like, guys, it's all comics. Like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
I like this art right here. This is cool.
Yeah, so that originally was going to be a cover, but I was like, nah, I'll make that a frame because that was done before the Power Soul cover, and that was going to be the second cover. And then I saw the Power Soul cover, and I was like, nah, people don't like that.
This is really cool, man. This is really cool.
And I, designed the trading card. I was going to put that as a stretch goal. We are closing up on the campaign and stuff. We got 12 days left. I want to make sure that people actually see my posts because it seems like a lot of people are seeing it days later.
Yeah, the algorithm sucks for Facebook.
So, but
It
yeah,
really does.
you know, yeah, this is the Kickstarter. We do have plans for a second book. We do have plans for a spinoff. Um, we have plans for a lot. We have plans for I want to say 6 books in total for Ani Hunter. Um, it depends on people, what they like or what they don't like, to support, and we can, push those projects out.
Now, how much of the book is done? Excuse
Oh,
me.
the book's done.
Oh, nice. Okay, so if
Yeah,
you're watching, you ain't gonna have to wait too long.
yeah, no,
Get
no, the book, yeah, yeah, the book. Like once the Kickstarter is done, you'll have the book within a month. Because
wow.
I like to send out everything at the same time. That's something that I've gotten advice from other creators outside doing their work, and that's why it's been a long time since my release of Icarus Metro 2 and Ani Hunter. Icarus Metro 2, I finished that in, I want to say, November of 2021. Um, and Icarus Metro 3 has been being worked on since then. But yeah, the advice I was given was to have your book done before you do a Kickstarter. You know,
Well, yeah. I think that most people would love that, but
yeah,
I know a lot of people use the Kickstarter to pay the artists. Um, so I know sometimes it gets really difficult to do something like that. At least for me, I know I don't have to deal with that. It's just me. So.
yeah, and I understand that. You know what I mean? I do feel like it does put people at ease when you do have it finished. Because then they don't have to worry about like not getting the book or me just disappearing with the money. Um, and it does make a lot of sense, because me personally, when I write a script in full, right? And usually when I contract an artist, it's for the whole book. So if I contract the artist for 4 pages just for the Kickstarter promo, uh, I don't know. I feel like I'd be cheating the people out of what the book can be, or and also wasting the artist's time, because the artist will say, for example, I'll do that and I'll create a Kickstarter and say, oh, this got this project, this is looking so good, etc. And then I get the money from the Kickstarter, pay the artist, and then be like, and then the book might not come out for another 6 months. So me personally, I wouldn't want to go through all that hassle. I rather just, if it takes time, I'll let it take time. Patience is definitely virtue here and key here.
Now, do you have a full-time job on top of this?
Yes, full time
Okay.
jobs, side hustles, everything. Yeah,
Hey, listen, some people are doing theirs full time, and more power, respect to them.
yeah. So I work in tech, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I'm, my days are bustling and hustling. Like it's a lot to do. I do that. I stream video games on Twitch. Um, and I do a couple of different things. So it's and also got to spend time with family. Which is the most important time.
Are you married? Are you
Oh man, completely single. So
okay? All right. So you got plenty of free time.
I got plenty of free time. But hey, if that changes, I might have to cut back on a few things. You might be getting one project a year,
Man, listen,
or
that's
one
when
book
you
every
work
two
harder.
years.
That's when
You
you work
know,
harder. You don't
that,
cut back.
that's where I
You
get that.
work. Why do you think I'm doing 5011 Comic Cons, man? I need that money, man.
That's when I get that drawing course on Udemy or something.
Listen, man, I actually need to cut back. I've been telling the world I'm cutting back on books, drawing books. Um, my plan is I'm gonna try again to do to try out for covers for Marvel
Mm.
again, and then I have a book I want to pitch to Image, but I'm trying to, I heard something about Image that makes me pause. uh I heard that you have to pay Image to publish your book,
I never heard that.
like off the top.
Really?
Yeah, like it's not even like
But
you
they have
pay
to.
them
But
off.
they have to select you first. So
Right.
they select you to pay them.
I guess. I don't know. I have to. I might be wrong. This is what I just got told recently. I'm not gonna say who told me because
Mm.
but
Yeah.
this is what I was told recently, and I'm actually going to, when I go to Baltimore this next weekend. I'm asking everybody, like, so are you paying Image Austin? Like, are you paying them? Because I want to know what I'm getting into. Um, because I one of the things I've learned, and this is me, talking to you, not telling you what to do, but what I learned is, you know, cons and fans, they care about your resume.
Yes.
Like you could have a really great book, but you could be a nobody. You're a nobody though to them, to like, especially Comic Cons, like you're a nobody. But the more books you sell, the more stuff that you get, that you can get out in front of people, the more people know of you through your works, the more attention you get, the more cons want you to come, the more fans give a crap about your book. um, and that's kind of what I've kind of learned. So I've been, I know you talking about next year being crazy. I'm. What do you have planned coming up for next year?
Um, I think next year I'm probably going to. Um, I think the goal for next year is probably cut back a little bit on conventions. I think I might do about maybe about four conventions, and then outside of those four conventions, I think I might just focus on trying to build a fan base online.
Okay.
And that comes with like content. It comes with YouTube. It comes with uh, streaming, potentially a podcast. A lot of things that will attract different types of viewers and just get visibility on um, not only the business but just what we're trying to do as a whole.
Okay.
I do feel like with cons, we are very successful in cons, and I'm not pulling away from any cons that we've been very successful at. You know what I mean? Um, but it's also a matter of what happens after the con. You know, uh, and I'm gonna be completely blunt. I know this is live. I know this will probably go up later and stuff like that. We are doing a Kickstarter right now, and we're 18 days in the Kickstarter, and um, we do see that okay, it's not funded, right? We have a great project, we have a great book, we got a lot of great reviews, a lot of good feedback. Um, but it makes me think, okay, why? You know, and we do feel like that is because of online presence, marketing, learning that side of things, and how to build that side of things in order to be truly successful. Because then we can come up at a con or at an event and then come with like 10 different stories now, a full exhibit experience. I want to provide an experience where people can experience what we have to offer. and then it'd be like, wow, like these guys, this is it. You know what I mean? So I'm working on providing people an experience for them to um, think about. You know, I want people to go to the convention and say, hey, I'm ready to go buy Icarus booth. I want to see Icarus.
Yeah,
I
I feel you.
want to watch Icarus on Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
You know, on Netflix. You know, so
that's
well,
another thing. Like people pay. I feel like people pay more attention to you with the more stuff that you have.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like if you got t-shirts and everything like that, like that's an eye catcher. Like, oh, okay, all right, all right, all right. You know, people who I know some folks who have like stickers and cards and all the other stuff. And like that's a lot of stuff to truck around, which is my brain. That's where my brain goes because I'm
yeah.
usually there by myself. But like, you know, giving away like free stickers and everything like that, you know, it really does matter. Like it makes you feel, it makes, at least my opinion, it makes a fan or somebody walking by feel like you're something,
Yeah.
as opposed to, okay, I don't know what he does, you know. Like if you got like 4 or 5 or 6 books, then you look like, okay, this isn't just like I'm gonna buy his one book and never see him again.
I've never seen him again. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to buy his one book and then I won't ever get the second book or anything like that.
Right. And
The whole
yeah,
shebang. Yeah.
yeah, I've actually begun to ask people, like, what do you look for in an independent comic? Like when, people who walk up and just talk to me, I'll ask and they'll be like, well, sometimes like I'm not sure if I'll see another issue. So like
Mm.
if I buy a number one from somebody, like I find that more people are willing to buy my number one comic and not buy 2 or 3 because they know, well, if I like it, I can come back and get 2 or 3, as opposed to somebody who just has like a number one. And
Mm.
they're like, well, the next one is coming. The person's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think about it like that. Because I do have a lot of people that just buy number one. And I'm like, oh, buy number two, buy number two. We got so many number
It's
twos.
like right there.
I just get number one. I just try it. I'm like, oh,
I
you know,
usually be like, listen, man, you got to pay shipping and handling. You gonna come back, or you gonna have to wait a
yeah,
whole year or something like that. I I I I get it because I've been like and, you can't pocket watch. That person might not be able to afford. They
yeah.
might have money set aside for other things, but I always love the people who just come through and get everything. They're my favorite people.
Okay, okay.
Like, oh, I got the trade, I got the 1, 2, and they
I,
just walk.
it's funny. I remember going to a con, and this is just for pleasure, right? I go to this con and I see a vendor selling like actual comic books. They had like an indie section. Then I see my issue one in the indie section, and I'm like, "Hey, how'd you get this?"
But he was selling
You know?
used books.
Well, yeah, it was selling
Oh,
you.
he was like a vendor. Yeah,
He
yeah,
was a
okay,
vendor.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, how you get this? He's like, I think he said he traded it or something like that. I said, you traded it? I said, this is my book. He's like,
You
oh, you
just,
don't want it? You're like, can you sign it? I was like, yeah, sign it.
I'd have been like, heck yeah,
I
excited.
was
I
like,
don't care. I wouldn't even care. So that means somebody bought it. I already got the money in my pocket.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I can sign it. I can sign it.
I had this one kid come up to my table recently at Terrificon, and he came up to the table and he's looking, and I'm like, I'm saying it, the whatever, whatever, and he's like, I got that already,
Mm,
and I was like, you do? And once again, I don't forget faces,
mm-hmm.
so I was like, really? I don't remember seeing your face, and he's like, no, I bought it online, and I was
Mm.
like, what's your name? And he told us, like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, man, 'cause I know who you are, but it's always funny, man. Like you just running out. I have like 1,000 Comic-Con stories once you start doing it for so long.
Yeah.
But I'm the opposite of you though. Like you're scaling back on cons. I'm actually trying to gear up and do more.
My thing is I also have seen like a lot of cons increase prices on artist alley.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so like with those, like say for example, I know a lot of people in my community and stuff like that. If they were doing like a pop up shop or like a small like nerd event or blurred event or something like that, then I'll go and do something a little bit something there. But
But that's what I mean though.
yeah, oh okay,
I'm
okay.
yeah, not just cons. Like I do like I just like I said, I got a book signing this weekend.
Mm.
I've done like one day things, small. I did one last weekend. The table was like $25.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Yeah.
I mean, I was like, then I did another one the next day, which was I was basically in a room full of vendors,
Mm.
like all vendors. I was the only comic book creator there. I actually did really well that day, by the way. It was really good. But it's that, I'll do like more of the smaller ones, and then the bigger ones I've reached a point where I'm like, if I can't get a free, unless it's a like Terrificon is like my home state, that's like my home con, I'll do that no matter what, because I'm
Mm.
going to sell well there. I'm going to get repeat customers. I'm going to get people who've come back I've literally watched people grow up at Terrificon, which is insane. Like there's a family that comes and they buy a new book every single year I'm there.
How long you been doing it?
It's 2015. It was the first con I did.
Really? Okay.
2015, 2016. And so like I saw the kids from like here to like here, and like they just came this past year and got the next book. They just find me every single year. I have another guy who, when he first started buying my books, he was single. Then he met his girlfriend, and he would bring his girlfriend to Comic Cons with him, and he would come get my book. And I just saw them. I forgot what con I did. It wasn't Terrificon. It was another con where I saw him again, but he was now married.
Wow.
So like I literally watched the progression of his relationship. So that's the type of stuff I enjoy. Like I enjoy seeing the same people over and over again. But like if I don't have a problem doing that one,
Mm-hmm.
but like some of these other cons, like listen, man, I need a table. Like just give me, if you ain't got to pay for my hotel and my flight just yet, but
Yeah.
if you give me a table, I'm good. And luckily, I'm kind of straddling that line. The last few cons this year, I haven't been able to. So, like, my advice to you is try asking.
Mm.
Just straight up ask. Hey, find the person who's in charge of doing it and like befriend them, I guess.
So I have done that for New York cons. Just earned to one. I've done that for New York cons that sold out and nobody able to get in. You know, but with that, I'll be with like people like Hypeland and Crunchyroll and Viz and all these other big places who don't have problem dishing out,
Right.
etc. And they are pricey. Let's say that. Like I went through the numbers, I was like, I almost gotta sell like 100 shirts in order to like break even on just the event. You know what I'm saying? So trying to figure out, because I do remember going to an event once, and I did see a book company like us, independent book company, have that type of exhibitor space. And they were selling apparel and stuff like that, but they didn't have that much traffic. So I do see like stuff like that could be very risky. So I'm thinking about from a business standpoint, um, but in terms of doing cons, you inspired me, man. You inspired me. We might be doing a little bit more traveling next year. We might be doing some traveling.
Hey man, I did listen, man. It's I like to try and go into places that I haven't been before, spaces, like I did Heroes Con this year. So that's a whole nother region
Yes, I
that
heard about that. Yeah.
right
So,
that never bought my books before.
mhm.
They don't even know who I am. But now I got a little toe hold, little pinky toe in there. And so next year, hopefully I do it. I can, use my, what do you call it? My email listing, let those same folks know that who bought my book, hey, I'm gonna be here. Feel free to come, if you want some more, and I'm trying to expand the reach of my books. So like, I'm trying to do New Orleans next year. I'm really working that. I want to do like Florida. I've never done Florida. Uh, what's it? I applied to, was it Emerald Con in Seattle?
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah. I have no idea if I'm gonna get in, but if I do, I'm gonna try to make that happen.
I heard that was a really good con.
I heard too, but it's a money thing. Like if I can afford to do it, if I can find a way to make it work, I'll do it. And sometimes sometimes those shows crash and burn. Like I did a show in Jersey that crashed and burned.
Well, I know.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I saw you and a couple other people I know do that same con during the week of the Dream Con in July. And
No, it wasn't during DreamCon. Wait, was it? No, DreamCon was during Terrificon.
No,
that's why I didn't go to Terrificon. The show I did in Jersey was, I'll tell you, it was July. It was the July 8th, like the second week in July, or the first.
Oh, same time as BlurredCon. That's what I meant.
BlurredCon. Yes. Yeah, I was supposed to. I thought I was doing BlurredCon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we listen. The people who run that show, they're fantastic people.
Oh yeah,
I love them. They're really nice to me. They were really good to me. But you crash and burn. Sometimes that happens.
So me personally, I don't know nothing about the show, right? I never been to the show or nothing like that.
No, it was new. It's new.
Yeah. So, but I know that Jersey, the fan base is kind of finicky when it comes to what they like to read and what they don't like to read. A lot of people here, especially in the nerd space, we're so close to New York. There's a lot of stuff going on in New York, where a lot of cons, a lot of people save up for New York Comic Con, where they could splurge and spend. We have access to one of the biggest cons in the world.
Yeah.
New York Comic Con, where they can easily take a train from New Jersey up to New York, where people get most of their stuff for the year. And then we have other cons where it's like, okay, a lot of people go to these cons for specific people, or they go to these cons just because they want to sightsee and get out the house for a day.
Yeah, that was that one.
It was that one, oh, yeah.
But I mean, I've actually expanded into New York a little bit this year. I did CradleCon.
Okay, never heard of that.
That's in Long Island, and I did Brooklyn Comic Con.
Okay,
which was fantastic. I loved it. That was one of my favorite ones I did this year. Outside of my car getting destroyed.
What?
Yeah, it was parked. Somebody hit my car. Yeah, I want to do the con next year, but I'm like, I need to find parking, like legitimate parking. Like I'm not parking on the side of the street. Yeah, I might have to take the train.
That's New York. So I used to do that because I lived in Stanford for a summer. So I take the train.
Stanford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from Connecticut.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
For a summer back like 2015. And I used to take the train to Grand Central. And then you can easily take the train Grand Central to take it down to the Oculus, go straight to Brooklyn. But you'll be lugging a lot of stuff.
What I'm hoping to do is have help.
Okay.
Like if I could get a friend of mine to roll with me, then it's two people carrying something as opposed to one person. So I don't know. I just know I can't park on the side of the street again. I will have I'll be super nervous the entire time. Mm-hmm. And if they destroy my car this time, I might have to find somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I always think it's cool to do the same ones over. Like I did Fan Expo Boston this year. I think Fan Expo Boston, I had a really small amount of, I didn't have as many um, repeat customers,
Mhm.
but I had more. I had a lot of new customers, and I think a big part of that is I didn't let people know I was coming back. Like Terrificon, the people find me.
Mhm.
Fan Expo Boston, it's not the same. I did have some repeat customers, like Baltimore coming up. I'm going to send out an email saying, "Hey, people who came, I'm going to be there again. If you want some, come find me." Yada yada yada. But yeah, man, I mean, I know doing a lot of cons isn't for everybody, but like for me, the it's where I sell the most books.
Okay.
For some reason, you know, uh, I don't get a ton of sales online.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of people. I thought it was just me. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was just me. My bread and butter mostly comes from conventions, but like
Yeah,
I said, there's a lot of plus and minuses when it comes to conventions. You know, you got you
yeah,
got to think about. You can't just think about what you would get in returns for the books. You got to think about the whole experience. The stay for the night, etc. Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I spent a I spent
the travel, the food. You know,
Heroes Con was expensive,
yeah. And I
but
and I heard about Heroes Con and Dragon Con. I wanted to go, and I'll tell you one thing: if I go, I have no shame sleeping in my car.
Dragon Con now I don't really worry about it usually because like I did Dragon Con the one time and I did like great. It's 5 days.
Wait,
Like
five
if
days?
you can't, yeah, it's like 4 or 5 days. Was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
That's the
It's 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
Damn.
So if you can't make, you know what I'm saying? Like if you can't sell enough during that time period, I don't know. Like if I did Dragon Con this year, I would have killed.
Mm,
I would have probably sold like 100 books each.
mm.
That's a lot for me. Um, I would have sold a lot this year, but next year, hopefully, I can get in next year. I didn't get in this year, so yeah. But yeah. So I want to hold you. I know you're a busy man, and I am tired as well.
Well, no, no problem.
I get
I,
listen,
this,
man.
this,
We
I,
could, yo,
yeah,
we could talk all day.
yeah. I was about to say we could definitely talk all day, and this is probably, I enjoyed this podcast, man.
Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate it, man. And hopefully, I get to see you at another con. I don't know the next one you'll be at.
Well, let's plan, man.
Um,
I gotta start applying now.
so just keeping. If you don't mind making a small drive, I'm trying to do a Comic Con in Connecticut,
What do you mean?
a 1 day con in Connecticut in May.
Okay, what's the name of it?
Well, it's gonna be Stoked Con, man.
Oh, you playing your
SDOKD
own?
Con.
Oh yeah,
Mine, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna do my own con, man. I'm working on it. I'm putting it out in the atmosphere. I've talked to some people. Is now I gotta follow through. I'm trying to find a venue. Um, the tables ain't gonna be crazy
Okay.
because I'm not gonna have a ton of people, a ton of creators, but it'll be a decent amount of guys. I'm generally talking to people that's in Connecticut or New York, New Jersey, Boston area who can drive up for the day and then drive home.
Yeah, it's like I
Uh,
have 2 hour drives. No, it's not.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. So keep me in mind. It'll hopefully be in May at some point. I think there's a market in Connecticut for Black creators, uh, and especially in Hartford and Windsor, Bloomfield areas.
Okay.
People just don't know. So I'm trying to, you know, I'm building my resume right now. It'd be nice to have, you know, founded a Comic Con on my resume.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm in.
All right. Well, thank everybody for stopping by. Also, please go down to and check the link below to get on that Oni Hunter #1 Kickstarter. We want to get that nice and funded Get this man funded this week. Shouldn't have to wait 2 weeks. This week. And then also check out his stuff on Icarus Metro Comics, IcarusMetroComics.com. I want to thank Mr. Chambers III for stopping by, and like I said, hopefully we get to see each other soon. You know, I know you're gonna be you're doing big things out here, so I'm just copying off of you, man.
Okay, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate you. Much love, everybody. Back to Kickstarter. Hope to see you in the world of Icarus.
All right, and thank you, everybody. I'll see you. Like I said, Saturday, Manchester, Connecticut, A Hero's Legacy. I will be there from 12 to 5, selling and signing my books. And remember, I'm not having a show next weekend. I will be at Baltimore. So if you are in the Baltimore area, come through, say what's up. And thank you all for another episode, for stopping by another episode of a Stoked podcast, creative talk with creative people. Y'all have a good evening. Have a great weekend. Hope to see y'all. Peace.